Good day, everybody. Welcome to the second race meeting of the season in the iRacing MSA British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship, and welcome to Apex Racing TV. We're here at Phillip Island here in Victoria, the state of Victoria, and after a thrilling opening 3 races at Silverstone, I think we are in for more of the same. 4.4 kilometers, 12 turns, and not much runoff area, as you can probably tell from the shots we are getting in the qualifying session. Joining me, Adam Bath, in the commentary box tonight. It's double trouble with the Sams. We'll have Sam Fitzpatrick later on. But first, it's Sam Kumo. Sam, Silverstone, great start to the season. And we're going to probably see the same here at Phillip Island again in the 3 races.
Yeah, definitely. Plenty of action at Silverstone, but that's one of those tracks that will also always provide a good overtaking, good battles. And this one is a little bit different because unlike what you might think, it is a very high-speed circuit, so you really only have the one hairpin at the midfield. That is usually the best place to overtake, and I think we will see most of the action over there. The first few corners just don't really suit it unless you can get a good run on the main straight, but they are very high speed and not really the places for safe overtaking, at least.
Yeah, we'll see who's the bravest going into that first corner. So on the MX-5s on Tuesday, some of the moves didn't go to plan. We're running through the championship standings then after 3 of 99 races. Of course, the rule changed this year. We're back to 3 races, so just under 100 for this season. Dave Baker leading the way. He's 11 points ahead of his CQR teammate Ash Sutton. I don't believe Sutton's here today, just because it's the week of not BSRTC today. Oh, he is here. There you go. Ash Sutton is committed. He was at the British Touring Car Media Day at Donington Park a few days ago, but he's on the sim tonight. He may be racing from Race Hub's headquarters. I don't know. But Stephen Baxter is in 3rd. Great start to the season for Northern Lights Racing GT Omega. They're carrying on really from where they left off at the back end of last season. Pete Newman in 4th. Jack Sedgwick in 5th for Bodak Racing, the highest of the Bodak cars. Then in 6th place, we've got our highest AM driver in Carly Hansen. Then it's Josh Thompson 7th, Evdoka 8th. Alex Simpson in 9th position after his after his bow in the BSRTC last week. And Kip Stevens rounding out the top 10. Into the AM category then, you heard him earlier, Carly Hansen at the top for Boosted. Then it is Mark Woodhouse in 2nd, 12 points behind. Adam Delmont in 3rd, 4th Adam Hadfield, and Dan Brown in 5th. And then over in the team standings, I got a message off Adam McNally last week asking whether a Pro-Am team had ever been at the top in the BSRTC, and I said I couldn't remember. This definitely rings a bell as the first team to do so, and Youth Energy do sit at the very top of the standings. 22 points ahead of Northern Lights Racing GT Omega. CQR Academy 3rd, and then in 4th, despite having the top 2 drivers in the drivers' standings, it is the CQR team. Then Boosted in 5th, Automech Not Kill the 2nd of the Pro-Am teams in 6th, Apex Racing 7th. Not the best opening race to the season for them at Silverstone. They were stuck in the quagmire that is the midfield here in the BSRTC. Then it's Northern Lights Racing, Scuderia Haggis, Bodak, Team Mad, ProSim and Simmortal. But I wouldn't be too worried. Those guys at the back end of the championship this season has barely wet its feet. Qualifying over then. And Sam, it's the top 2 in the championship that are top 2 in qualifying. CQR really have got a fantastic start to the season.
Yeah, this is really kind of what we expected here. The fast guys, they will be fast here. But we'll see if we can see some surprises coming from the midfield. Where is our Karl Jansson? He's only 42nd, so that is a little bit surprising considering his pace last week.
He was so quick that our colleague Alex Simpson was questioning whether he needed to be an AM. The politics of the Pro-Am category already starting here in the championship. Well, we have got a long grid to run you through, as always. We are expecting about just under 60 cars. And if you're new to the BSRTC and you wonder why some of the quick drivers are starting towards the rear of the field, it is because of the protest system, and some drivers will have been given back of the grid penalties. Right, better start then. Dave Baker starts on pole position. I think that's 2 pole positions in a row for the with a CQR driver. Ash Sutton in second, making it an all CQR front row. Wojciech Savidovic is starting in third place. Andreas Katz in fourth, making it an all Apex Racing second row. And it's Pete Harrod in fifth, Sven Glatzel in sixth, seventh Colin Cunniff, eighth Alex Smolensky, first race of the season, wasn't at Silverstone last week, starting here today. Jamie Rushworth back on form, season 4 champion, starting in 9th. Nathan Davis starting in 10th. Pete Newman 11th. 12th on the grid is Brian Holmes, the MX5 specialist, starting to come to terms with the Kia, it seems. Jack Sedgwick in 13th. 14th for Michael Hall and Janowski 15th. 16th on the grid is Johnny Brandon, then Nicole Foggy in 17th. 18th Dan Brown. 19th Anwar Smith and Kip Stevens starting in 20th. 21st for Stephen Baxter. 22nd Michael Evdoka. Then it's Johnny Brandon. No, it's Martin Front in 23rd. Then Christine Rose 24th. Adam Delmont 25th. 26th is Alex Simpson. Then Ross McFarlane 27th. Then Adam McNally 28th. 29th for Steve Laidler and 30th for Mark Woodhouse. 31st Laura Bond. 32nd Jake Blackhall. Then Jack McIntyre in 33rd. Matt Keeper 34th. John Roberts 35th. Rashid Kasim in 36th. Paul Smith starting in 37th alongside a driver they used to commentate on in Chris Wood. Michael Blake 39th. Gareth Pickling 40th. 41st on the grid is Scott Malcolm. Then Carl Janssen, as Sam was saying, 42nd on the grid. Then Mark Johnston 43rd. Adam Broughton Grant 44th. Andrew Whitehead 45th. 46th Maciej Sakovic, Kia Club Series champion from a few years ago. And Callum Spencer 47th. 48th Rob Graham. 49th Taylor Lane. 50th is Max Wright. Then Law Murray 51st, 52nd Dave Christie, and then 53rd is Tristan Bodis. As the revs start to rise, we're not too far away from getting the start here at Phillip Island. Ten seconds, so I can quickly run you through the rest of them. 53rd Tristan Bodis, 54th Fields, 55th Nick Madsen, 56th Lee Deemer, 57th Adam Hadfield, 58th Dave Crozier, and starting at the very back of the field is the world's fastest gamer contender from last year, Isaac Price. Here we go. Runs away. Baker gets very little wheel spin. Great start by the season 7 champion. Wojciech Savidovic gets a great start. You would expect nothing else. And Ash Sutton has to come into play to protect his teammate as we go into the first corner here. This long right-hander where there's probably going to be loads of contact and loads of wheel-to-wheel racing at the start here. Savidovic up the inside of Sutton going into turn 2. Car 01 versus car 1. And it's going to be car 1 that comes out in front, I think. But Sutton will try and maintain the speed on the outside. No, he can't, so he has to slot into third position. He's going to try and get second place. So as we go through Stoner Bend here at turn 3. Now into the Honda hairpin. Hardest braking zone on the circuit. Dave Baker brakes very late indeed. But he makes the corner. Sutton now trying to go around the outside of the Apex car. This is what we expected at the start of the season. CQR versus Apex already. They're going through Siberia. Samus, is this wheel-to-wheel racing is continued now for the best part of half a lap.
Yeah, good start for the race, and it seems like we've had very few issues, so for the most part everyone is up and running. Something happened to Paul Smith. He's dropping down the field.
Oh. Well, Paul Smith started in 37th place. He is still going, very little damage to the car, so while that happened to him, it looks like it hasn't had too much of an impact, but for now, he carries on. And now through the second part, the final sector of the lap, it's Baker now with a 0.4 of a second advantage. Big movers in this opening lap. Michael Hall has gained 6 positions. 4 positions gained for Brandon and Foggy and Anwar Smith as well. Come out final corner to complete the first lap. It's our first chance to really see the slipstream in effect here in these Kia Optimas. Sutton moving over to the right just a little bit to stop Savidovic getting by. It's as he were in the front 4. Sven Glatzel in 5th has managed to get by Pete Harrod, who has dropped down to 6th place. So it's 2 DH cars in 4th and 5th as a bit of as an Apex car gets out of line there. That's Nathan Davis. Sorry, Andreas Katz, car 42. It allows Sven Glatzel through up another position, Sam, into 4th.
Yeah, I expect these guys will be swapping positions all throughout the race. But looking at the field, one driver who hasn't had very good start seems to be Alexander Smolensky. Is he down 10 positions or now even 11 positions there?
Yeah, Alex Smolensky, car 1. Yeah, 102. He's getting overtaken again here, going through Honda. This is where he performed the infamous J-turn in the opening race of last season. That didn't go too well at all. He's now got the ZQR Academy car to his right. That is Christian Rose, and it looks like he's trying to get by him here as they go through the hay shed. You can see one of the Youth Energy cars behind, leading the championship in the team's championship, where all the money is. That's Adam Delmont's looking at the inside, going into Lukey Heights. Just behind them there, you've got Kip Stevens, who is a veteran of this series, two-time champion, has been here since the beginning, all the way back in late 2012, early 2013, I believe.
I think that might have been, was it Martin front making a pass to Kip Stevens? Or was that the other way around?
May have been actually.
No,
I'll see if those positions
ahead,
show.
yes.
Yeah, front ahead as Stevens, just up the road. Alex Malensky is now feeling the pressure from Christian Rose. Over the line they go, looking to the inside, the Crown car. The way through just yet. But you can see that outside line really works well as a method of defence.
But this is really where you can start to wind it up and get a good run on the right-hander. Oh, side by side between Jamie Rushford and is that Brian Holmes? Now it's Michael Poggi and Johnny Brandon side by side. Adam, are you still with me?
Yeah, still with you. Sorry, I had to just answer the door.
No worries.
Right. So you were petrified then for a brief moment. Jamie Rushworth, haven't spoken much about him. He's back in the BSRT this season. Was there a battle that we were looking at, Sam, that caught your attention?
We were just, it's basically happening with Jamie now, here with Johnny Brandon, Nico Poggi and Pete Newman.
Ah, right. Yeah, Rushworth. Scott Malcolm has towed back to the pit, so something's happened to him in the early stages of this one. It is a 20-minute race. The opening race.
Oh, something's happened to Mark Woodhouse as well.
Oh, Mark Woodhouse, who is...
he
is... Oh, he's got a lot of damage.
Yeah, something with him and Laura Bond, I think. Let's see if we can get the replay on the screen.
It's going into the MG hairpin in the second half of the lap. Oof. I think Woodhouse was trying to cover off from the car on the inside, which was Carl Jansen, and he missed his braking point too, or maybe Laura just cut across. I think it might be a racing incident. Then he gets clattered from behind by the Gareth Hickling car, car 44. Not a good week for that car number, I don't think. Hickling has carried on. Sam, have we got a replay of that on screen?
Yeah, we just saw it. It seems like basically it's a very difficult place to just... the braking there is very difficult when you're off the line because you're coming across the hill, and if you miss your braking point, you're going to be clobbering other people. As Greg Hickling and Adam Hadfield, I believe, are having a little bit of door-to-door action here as well.
Yeah, Gareth Hickling, who was involved in the crash earlier on. This is quite a way down the order. This is in the high 40s here, 42nd versus 43rd or around that mark. Up the inside goes the Team Mad car, Paul Smith. Whoa! He's got a clean car and he's struggling to control it here as they go through Lukey Heights and now into the MG hairpin. No way through there as Hickling defends the inside line, and just behind them you've got Tristan Bodis in the boosted car. You've also got Andrew Whitehead, his teammate, and Lorne Murray as well. So close battles everywhere you look in this field here as we cross the line to start lap 5 of the race. What's the situation like at the front? It is still as you were. David Baker leads Ash Sutton, then it's Wojciech Swidovic in 3rd, 4th Sven Glatzel, 5th Andreas Katz, 6th is Pete Harrod, 7th Colin Cunniff, 8th Michael Hall, 9th Nathan Davis, and then the fight for best of the rest is on between Johnny Brandon, Brian Holmes, Jamie Rushworth, Nicole Foggy, and Pete Newman also in there as well in that CQR Academy car. So up the inside goes Nicole Foggy on Jamie Rushworth, car 9 versus car 8. And this is 12th position over 13th, and it looks like the Northern Lights Racing car has got the position, Sam, and is through the Honda hairpin.
Yes, I've been looking at this battle on the time since, and it seems like they've been swapping positions for the past few laps. I believe Nicole Foggy might have just regained the position he lost, but it's still going on.
Oh! Oh! all over the place there as car 3. That was Brian Holmes, may have been a slightest touch.
Yeah, a little bit of bumping there going on. And now this Michael Boggy on the outside, trying to squeeze it in. Penultimate corner, holding on the inside line, but might not be just enough overlap there.
Fantastic move by Foggy. 2 positions gained in a space of a lap. Obviously didn't start too good because Brian Holmes got hit out of the way somewhat, but the Northern Lights Racing GT Omega car through into 12th place now. Sorry, 11th place. Brian Holmes down to 12th. There is a bit of gap now between them and the 10th place car, which is Johnny Brandon. Jack Sedgwick, pro driver, got the pro license. He's currently sitting in 15th place. He's currently trying to get past Pete Newman. Sedgwick, the highest Bodat car after the opening race meeting of the season. A team with a lot of big talent underneath them. Of course, they got Isaac Price, who started stone dead last today. And just in front of Sedgwick, you can see that is Brian Holmes now having to defend from Jamie Rushworth, whose last win in the BSRTC, if I can remember correctly, was Silverstone back in 2016. So a long time ago. And he'll be hoping to get a win here down under today as they go out of the Siberia hairpin and now through the Hayshed, where I've seen a few drivers go a bit wide and mess up Lukey Heights and get past into the MG hairpin here as they go over this blind crest, Sam, which really means you have to get on the brakes pretty quickly when you go into this hairpin here.
Yes, and you really don't want to get loose here, just especially in the longer races when there's the dirt pulled up on the outside line. It can get very slippery over there.
I'm sure if you have any overcast races, that's going to be very interesting indeed with the cold tyres going into that MG hairpin. Obviously not the slowest part of the circuit. That is the Honda hairpin, biggest braking point anyway. 1/10 of a second between Dave Baker and Ash Sutton. Still very, very close between these two. Obviously Baker's got the Race Sub sponsorship on the car. Sutton got the plain CQR sponsorship. Both driving for the same team. And right now they've got a 1-2 with Savidovic third. He hasn't got his teammate for company, but you can see now Sam Katz is growing impatient and he's trying to get past Sven Glatzel here.
Yeah, good battle here for the fourth place between Glatzel, Katz and Aaron. And also Colin Canepp. He's going up. On the outside. He's able to make a stick and now he has the inside line on this corner. Is he able to hang on? Just not quite enough overlap this time around.
Fantastic battle here. You can also see car 37, that's Nathan Davis in the mix. Has gained a position since the start of the race. Then you've got car 4, which is Michael Hall. And then car 16, which is Colin Cunniff, as Sam was just showing you there. Runs very wide through the Lukey Heights left-hander. That means that the CQR car will get alongside and maybe try a cutback here. Bit of contact made there. No harm, no foul. Andreas Katz now trying to apply the pressure again to Sven Glatzel. Through the left-hander, we've got 8 minutes to go in this opening race. And if you're new to the BSRTC, we'll have I forget what the rules are like for race 2.
I believe it is a reverse grid.
Just a normal reverse grid. Was it something different for race 3? Was it something else I can't remember, or was it reverse grid for both?
I can check it if you give
Yeah, we'll have a look. Katzen lining up Glatzel again. Glatzel gets a much better run on the exit of turn 2 this time, so it means that Katz really can't apply the same pressure that he did a lap ago. Nathan Davis has got past Michael Hall. We can see just up the road, Savidovic is now starting to apply the pressure to Ash Sutton. Obviously Sutton's won a British Touring Car Championship, won the Jack Sears Trophy a year before. It's been a meteoric rise through the rankings for the Subaru factory driver. So he's going to be completely aware of how to defend a position, especially in a discipline of racing such as this. Obviously the Kia Optima is no way similar to a Subaru. First of all, it's an estate car. Second of all, it's rear-wheel drive. It's front-wheel drive, and it's a lot more powerful than a touring car, believe it or not. I know the name doesn't cover it in glory, but Sutton having to defend the inside line now, and does mean that that 4th place scrap is now in the fray, and Sutton may have just been set up. I've been bigging him up, and yes, and Savinovic looks up the inside straight away.
Yeah, just left too much room on the inside, and Wojciech just takes advantage of it immediately. And I can also tell you that the second and third place will be the full reverse of the wheel.
Okay, no confusion needed there then. Such close racing between these two, and drivers that know each other pretty well, hence why they've been able to race each other with such respect so far. If it was any other drivers, I think they may have ended up in the wall, but Ash Sutton goes wide. I wonder if the tyres may just be starting to cry enough. Now, Baker has got a half a second advantage over Sutton here. And now into the Honda hairpin again. Glatzel having a small look to the inside. You can see it is now pretty much a 5-6 car train all the way back to Pete Harrod, who is car 6, incidentally. Car 6 and P6. And then Colin Cunniff in 7th. Hauled up 6 positions to 8th. Davis 9th, and Johnny Brandon and Nicole Foggy both getting 6 positions as well. Alex Smolensky continues to linger down in 19th place in his return into the BSRTC in a bit of his own, in a battle of his own really at the moment, because Anwar Smith's just a bit up the road, and then Ross McFarlane is a bit behind as well, as Dan Brown and Michael Evdoka going wheel to wheel here. This is the Northern Lights Racing GT Omega car versus the Bodak car. Tell on the back of the car with blue Pro. It's fighting for the Pro Championship. Those drivers that got the yellow are racing for the AM Champion. A bit different to what you've got on the graphics. I believe for that, green is Pro and blue is AM. We'll remind you as the evening goes on. After the final corner, you can see Christian Rose is also there, and Kip Stevens too. They come across the line to start lap 10. Taking the laps off here. Of course, longer races. We've only got 3 of them here today.
Yes, looking at the top battles there, I can see that Ash has really picked up the pace as they're coming under attack in the previous lap. Previous time by he was running 1 minute 37, and now he is the fastest fastest driver in the top 20 really, with 1 minute 35.
Oh, Johnny Brandon and Nathan Davis both getting a bit close for comfort. They're going through the Honda hairpin. It was the Apex car that edged out the Bodak car, and now Johnny Brandon's got to start that attack all over again. Fortunately for him, he's got a bit of a gap back to Nicole Foggy, who's in 11th place, but the Bodak car trying something to try and get by. Savinovic now having to look behind him for 4th as they go into the MG hairpin, down to about 75 kilometers an hour. Savinovic nearly got Sutton a few laps back, didn't he? Looks up the inside going through this corner, and Sutton was able to power by back on the outside. Was able to keep him in 2nd place. I wonder if the reigning champion, the three-time champion, can get by. I wonder if he can set his sights on Dave Baker. Sutton's doing a great steward job, or a shepherd job of just marshalling the defence behind. You know what I mean? Lap 11, 3.5 minutes to go. Very little change in the top 3. In fact, no change, because they've exactly where they started. And it is good to see that Savinovic is back up and running again. Didn't have, looks like, touch wood, Sam, he hasn't had any of the connection issues which plagued many of the fields during last week's race meeting. Yes,
so far it's been also no issues on my end either. So let's hope that this continues. Well, yeah, I've looked at the lap times again. As Sutton a little bit slower previous time by, and that again brought them together, and that is Svorevic and Glatzel, I believe, having a small battle there.
It's one of the shortest laps of the year, really, just over 90 seconds around this circuit. Glatzel having a look again, and now this allows Sutton to roam free and start attacking Baker again. This front group is really ebbing and flowing here. Now into Lukey Heights. Don't think Sutton will try anything risky on his teammate. They're both trying to win the team championship. Glatzel's trying something. Oof. Nearly through. Gained 2 positions so far, Glatzel. How he'd love to make it 3 and also get on the podium as well. Secondary battle, Sam. It's Cunniff versus Hall versus Davis, Brandon, Foggy as well. This is the battle for best of the rest, really.
Yeah, we got a good 2 battles going on in the top 10.
Swedish disappeared.
Yes.
Well,
it appears so.
Curse of the commentator strikes again. I'm so sorry, Wojciech. I said that the connection issues were holding up, and unless it doesn't appear in a few more seconds, that is him gone. And I'm a bit red-faced there. It literally was fine until until I brought it up, and I'll never bring it up again. Yeah, I think Savidovic may have left us. This does mean now that it is a CQR 1-2, as it was, but there is a bit of a gap now. Back to Sven Glatzel, who's in 3rd position, may allow the Northern Lights Racing GT Mega car to now close up to these front 2 cars and have a go himself. But what a disaster for Savidovic. There he goes, he is out of the session, and that does really hamper his evening, because he is going to be starting at the back for the 2nd race, which is coming up later. And as there are only 3 races, he's going to have to do a lot of overtaking in the 2nd race to make sure he's in contention for a reverse grid for the 3rd race. What a disastrous opening 2 race meetings for our reigning champion, winner of the BSRTC in season 6. So.
Yeah, you don't want that kind of stuff, especially when it's something that is completely out of your control. And meanwhile, these guys are definitely in control here, at least somewhat, between Nathan Davies, Nicole Foggy and Johnny Brandon, having a good scrap here.
See if the Bozak car with the yellow stripes on can get by the Northern Lights Racing car here as they come out the final corner. Over the line they go, onto the final lap of the race. Just under 30 seconds left, and here comes the CQR car. That's Michael Hall darting up the inside of Cunniff. Don't want to make contact there, otherwise you will have a big one. And Nicole Foggy doing a good job of keeping Johnny Brandon at bay, but Nathan Davis just backing them into each other here. Hall gets a good run on the exit of turn 2. It looks like Colin Cunniff carried a bit more speed. Who's this looking up the inside? That's the CQR car with the purple on it. That's Jamie Rushworth looking to try and get by Johnny Brandon. Michael Hall defends the inside line. He's almost out of control as he goes up the inside of Colin Cunniff. And Nathan Davis is following him through as well. This might not be the best lap. Now here come the Northern Lights GT Mega teammate. This is Scottish one. That is Nicole Foggy versus Colin Cunniff. Not too many corners to go. It's still 0.2 of a second at the front, but this battle shows no signs of abating here as they go through the hay shed. And up to Lukey Heights for the final time in this opening race. Contact between the Bozak car of Johnny Brandon and car 9 Nicole Foggy. This allows through the other Bozak car, that is Jack Sedgwick, and through Jamie Rushworth as well. Nicole Foggy's been able to carry on. It's Johnny Brandon that's been hampered severely here. But meanwhile, through the final corner, it is Dave Baker and Ash Sutton to make it 1-2 victory for the CQR team. The top 2 in the championship, 1st and 2nd again. Then 3rd place was just Sven Glatzel. Now here come everybody else. It's a drag race between Jamie Rushworth and Jack Sedgwick. It was Rushworth that got the 9th position. Sedgwick has to deal with 10th, Foggy 11th. And here comes everybody else streaming across the line. A few Apex cars in there. Close between Michael Blake and Carl Janssen, who's weaving across the line, hopefully in celebration. And everybody else now, this is 38th, 39th and 40th. Oh, please don't tell me that Automet car's out of fuel. Or was Rob Graham just playing it right for a potential reverse grid? We'll have to wait and see with that one. Here comes Nick Madsen ahead of Laura Bond. And here comes more. These are Taylor Lane, Callum Spencer and Dave Christie finishing 50th, 51st and 52nd. Now here comes Lee Deemer for 53rd. Simon Fields coming through the final corner, driving for GT Omega team this week. And he looks like he's going to get 54th place, with the Union flag ablazoned above it. And now here comes Wojciech Savidovic. Managed to get back on the circuit, managed to rejoin the session. We'll wait and see whether he's 1 lap down or not, as that could be oh so crucial in the reverse grid. If he's 1 lap down, he has a chance of being on the pole, and how good would that be for him and for the Apex Racing team after what looked like a dire scenario? He comes across the line, finishes 55th, and looking at the timing screens, he's 1 lap down. But Unfortunately for him, the biggest reverse grid we have is full -1. So even if there is no full, so Savidovic will have to start at the back, I'm afraid, unless there is a number bigger than 55 on our reverse grid wheel, but which I don't think is. We'll get onto the wheel in a moment. There isn't, no. So Savidovic going to be starting at the back. 55th place on the grid for him for race 2. Let's run you through the finishing order then. It is a victory, another 1-2 for CQR. Dave Baker and Ash Sutton. What a start to the season they're having. Can they keep it up for the remaining 94 races? Savidovic hits an invisible wall. Sven Glatzel in 3rd, 4th Andreas Katz. 5th place finish for Pete Harrows, started there as well. Michael Hall finishing in 6th, 8 positions gained. 7th Nathan Davis, 3 for him. Colin Cunniff dropped a few to 8th on that final lap. Jamie Rushworth finished in 9th, 10th for Jack Sedgwick, gained a few places as the race went on, with a pro driver with near 7k iRacing. Then Nicole Foggy, 6 positions to 11th. Then 4th for Johnny Brandon, finishing in 12th. 13th place for Brian Holmes, 7 positions gained for Stephen Baxter, he was quietly plugging away. 14th place. Pete Newman, 15th, 4 positions lost. Him, then Julian Janowski in 16th, then Anwar Smith, 17th. Alex Smolensky, 18th, 10 positions lost there for Smolensky on his return to the series for this season. Michael Avdoka in 20th for Ross McFarlane in 19th place. Dan Brown, 21st, 22nd for Kip Stevens, 23rd for Christian Rose. Alex Simpson finishing in 24th there. Then 25th for Rusty Laidler, 26th for Jack McIntyre, then Martin Front in 27th. 28th for Jake Blackhall, 29th Carl Janssen, the AM leader, and 30th for Michael Blake, then Mark Johnson 31st, Matt Keever 32nd, Rashid Kasim in 33rd, Adam Broughton Grant in 34th, and then the other Adam McNally in 35th. Chris Wood in 36th, Paul Smith finished in 37th in the end, so he was able to get back up to where he started after something unfolded for him on that opening lap of the race. John Roberts in 38th, then 39th Rob Graham, 40th for Maciek Sakovic, then Andrew Whitehead 41st, 42nd for Lorne Murray, Max Wright 43rd, Mark Woodhouse 44th, Tristan Bodis finished in 45th. Amazing how close the gaps are as well. I don't know if you're seeing that on the screen, but Dave Christie in 46th, Nick Madsen 47th, just a few tenths ahead of Laura Bond in 48th, who got hit earlier on. Gareth Fickling was involved in that very incident, finishing in 49th. Then Taylor Lane 50th, 51st Callum Spencer. Dave Christie finished in 32nd, he started there as well. And Lee Deemer 53rd, 54th for Simon Field. Cars 1 lap down or more. Hadfield 3 laps down. Savidovic 1 lap down as well. He'll be starting in 55th for the second race. Then Adam Delmont 57th. Scott Malcolm out very early on as well, 11 laps down. And Isaac Price did take part in practice and in qualifying, but he didn't take the start for this one. So we'll see if he's back for the second race. But now, time for the first reverse grid of the day. Over to you, Sam. Let's see who's going to be on pole for round 5 of the season.
Right, let's do it. Okay, let's see. We might be able to get the big number here. And it is full -1.
Oh, Paul Savidovic got a feel for him last season. If that was what the reverse grid wheel landed on, it would have been a pole for him. It's a pole for Simon Field, though. A veteran of the series that has been away for a while, filling in as a guest driver, I believe. Now and then, he's going to be on the pole for the second race. Lee Deemer 2nd, Dave Christie 3rd, Callum Spencer 4th. Taylor Lane going to be starting in 5th. That is how the top 5 will line up for the second race of the day. And it's going to be amazing to see how far Savidovic can get from starting outside the top 50. Join us after the break then on Apex Racing TV. Second race coming up, the Phillip Island circuit in the BSRTC.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the BSRTC here, the second race of 3 at the Phillip Island circuit, the second race meeting of the season, race 5 of the season coming up here in just a few moments. In the commentary box with me today is now Sam Fitzpatrick, who's swapped places with Sam Kumo. And Sam, Phillip Island, much experience of racing this track?
Very little really. I've watched a few races, done a little bit of marshalling here, but I don't think I've actually ever done a proper race around here, so I don't know the circuit brilliantly racing, but of course seen it plenty on TV, like watching MotoGP and stuff, and I think the slipstream effect around here is so strong, and you've got the kind of flowing corners around here. It really does make for a really good race circuit, very short as well, and I think from the first race we kind of know that, as always, I think in this series, it's going to be very tight to see who's going to win.
Got 54 cars reversed for this second race. Take it that this is something you wouldn't want to race in, would you, Sam?
No, this is going to be absolute anarchy. It's all going. You got to be so aggressive, I think, to make up the moves. It's just a case for those front runners to make just as many moves as they possibly can in this 13-lap race. But of course, the quality is so good in this series. It's so in depth that it's not easy to make a move on anyone. So it's going to be so tough for them as always.
Unfortunately, Svinovic is going to be starting in 55th place for this one after having another horrendous internet issue or something to do with the sim anyway, because he was running up in 3rd place in race 1 and now ends up starting right at the back, so his progress we'll have to watch closely. But it was the CQR 1-2 in the opening race. Just joining us, Dave Baker and Ash Sutton, who were the top 2 in the championship, getting a 1-2 again here. Now they're going to be starting right with Savinovic in 53rd and 54th on the grid, so those 3 are going to be working their way through the field together, and we'll see how far they can get up the field. Not too many positions gained in the opening race. The biggest mover was Carly Jansen with 13, but these reverse grids, the second race of the day and the third first grid, it should allow for a lot of overtaking, which will probably be Sam in the Honda and the MG hairpin.
Yeah, most likely. But there's so many kind of half overtaking spots, like from turn 1, turn 2. And that whole entire final section. You can force a move down there, but you're right, it's going to mainly be in the hairpins. I don't actually know, do the teams usually kind of help each other through the field? Is that quite an important tactic?
They may have spotters, but I know that the drivers themselves are in communication with each other, so they may be able to help if one or two are up just in front of them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they're gonna have to work together. With rule number 1, don't take out your teammate, and of course all the CQR guys back at the grid. They're gonna be working together to try to make up try to get as far up as possible.
Well, Sam Field starts on the pole for this one. Lee Deemer starts 2nd, Christie 3rd, Spencer 4th, Taylor Lane 5th. Dave Christie did a fantastic job on Tuesday night of keeping a lot of people behind him at this circuit. Hope that might come in handy for him. Lee Deemer is starting from the pit lane, so is McCarran, so is Crozier, so is Graham. That's the majority of the top 20. Here we go. We're off and running for the second race of the day. Summerfield already is an advantage over everybody because there was no car starting in 2nd place and he's left them all for dead here as we get going. Dave Christie's now having to do a good job of making sure that no one gets by going into the first corner. You can see the 2 Northern Lights GT Omega teammates working together. Please don't hit each other, guys. And it's 3 wide behind him. It's Laura Bond. It's the Tristan Bottis car. Cars everywhere. Goodness me, this might not end well. Team Mad car there of Mark Woodhouse facing the field. Collects his teammate. Everybody scatters. Oh, and there's a GT Omega car caught up in a Youth Energy car. Everyone's trying to rejoin the circuit without hitting anybody. And Sam, that's not good, especially if it's at the front of the field.
Yeah, that was miraculous how he didn't have a pilot there. Oh, who's that going wide just at the front of the field? Someone just went wide at the hairpin. Not sure who that was, but so many incidents around there. I was shocked that there wasn't a pilot. They just managed to get their way past, still 4 wide in some places out there. But yeah, pretty clean start for our leader, Simon Field, who's actually lost the lead to actually fallen down a little bit, hasn't he?
Yeah, it might have been him that was off at the hairpin. It's Dave Christie that leads. I'll say again, Dave Christie leads the race. I'm sure he's as shocked as I am. Here, as at the inside, goes Callum Spencer. It didn't last long. The GTM Mega Car hits the front. Go on, Dave, go the inside. Oh, he's getting forced off. That's not polite. I wonder what Dave will have to say about that. This allows Gareth Hickling to have a look to the outside here. He's got his Automech teammate in Max Wright to hand here as they go through the final corner. These are wreck guys. Christie going out very wide, and off the track goes quite a few people. Simon Field off, cars that are out of the race. Taylor Lane, Laura Bond, Matt Keever, Jack McIntyre have all had to tow back to the pits. Look at this as they come across the start line into the first corner. Contact!
Oh.
Big one. It is
Max
a huge one. Max Wright right off. Gareth Hickling went along for the ride, and Sam, I think that was a quarter panel.
Yeah, I didn't quite see what happened there, but yeah, just going into turn one, they just seemed to turn into each other, and yeah, big accident for them, and that's pretty much their competitive race over.
Dave Christie's back in the lead. Second place is John Roberts now. Boosted car on a mission. Oh! That's not gone well, and it means that Callum Spencer leads. On the inside, missed his braking point and went slamming into the side of that Automech car. All the Automech cars have disappeared.
Yeah, and Mark Johnson now under pressure. He's on the outside here. He can go too wide through this next SS section. He's got to try to get the inside. Just being hung out to dry there was Mark just going past Simon Field, so Field down to third position now. A little bit wide there for Spencer. I think Johnson's going to fancy his chances down into the hairpin. Going to be a long way back, not quite, and that's a big off in the background.
Yeah, Automech car, it's Christie again.
Oh, big well up.
Oh, they're cutting across the track. Seriously, guys, what's going on? What's going on here? And that's John Roberts again. May have been Christie repaying the favour if both of them are involved. Wouldn't rule it out. Might have to get Samara to have a look at a replay. Just having a look, actually. No, it wasn't. It was Christie that went off. Sorry to John Roberts on that. And everybody just scatters. You see what's going on in front of you, Sam. And I think the instinct is just to bail out as quickly as you can. And there's not much room out there to really get out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we got a spinner in third. Who's that? That's
Field, did it?
Going round. So nearly lost the car there. But just about held onto it. It's now Johnston into the lead. He did look quick. Can he pull away though? Spencer just behind, going down the inside now into the hairpin. Gonna try to make the move. He's deep in the base contact. Oh, and then we've got another off. Oh, Johnston off. And yeah, it's now Spencer in the lead.
That's the second time in a row that's happened. Don't know what they're doing on the inside, but they're just clattering into the car in front. It's now Spencer that leads. Who's that in second? That's Paul Smith. Go on, Paul. Paul, who does well around Australia. He won at Bathurst. He's now in second place here. And if everybody just keeps crashing into each other, the guys that are in the midfield are going to end up winning this one. Smith up the inside. Callum Spencer again is going to go off. Yep. Paul Smith leads the race. It looks like that. Oh, it's obviously. Oh, please don't hit him. That's Carl Jansen in second place. 24 positions gained for the 22 car. And now Callum Spencer's under pressure from that is Maciek Sakovic in the multi-coloured Team Mad car. What an absolutely crazy race. 44 positions. Our biggest mover is Ash Sutton. Unbelievable. He started 53rd on the grid, and he's now up to 9. Unbelievable. Jamie Rushworth's out of the race, by the way.
Yeah, that's quite incredible. Just about the luck, really, or instance you're involved in. Down the inside there is Sakowicz, just trying to go. Oh, he's off the track, but he just about gets on in time. That can be so dangerous there. Trying to go down the inside here of Spencer. Trying to make the inside, but he's going to be on the outside come the hairpin, I think. But so he's got to be really aggressive here. Can he make the move now? I think Spencer's going to have the inside, and now he's going to lose another position.
Paul Smith having to defend from Carl Jansen as well, going into the Honda hairpin. Who's that in the mix? That's one of the Youth Energy cars. They're leading the championship, the overall championship, of course. And Adam McNally will be loving that he's back inside the top 10 again. 15 positions gained for him. Cars that started inside the top 10 that are currently there, I think there's pretty much only one, and that's Callum Spencer, who's in a third position. Maybe Simon Field as well, so we've got 2. It's just remarkable the rate of which they've disappeared. Sakovic now in third, as you're saying, Sam. Spencer 4th, then it's Mark Johnston in 5th, 6th is Adam McNally, 7th Lorne Murray, 8th Simon Fields, 9th is Ash Sutton, right on the very back of all these lot, and 10th is Andrew Whitehead. As up the inside goes Johnston on McNally, nearly running into the back of the GT Omega car in front. This is not going to go well. Got to give him the space, Mark. And through goes Adam McNally, and he sensibly does that. Ash Sutton already gaining places. He's up the inside of Simon Field, and as they go through the final corner, turn 12, Sam. So that is Sutton now into 8th place, 45 positions gain.
Yeah, that's some drive for me. He's right on the tail now of the car ahead. That's Lorne Murray down the inside. Goes Sutton. Can he make the move into turn 1? Yes, he can. Just about got the inside, but he's going to be on the outside come turn 2. It's all going on amongst them. It's not been the top 10 been slow. They've just been so erratic. And who's that? Nearly round.
Oh, that's McNally, and he gets forced out wide into Simon Field. Meanwhile, for the lead, it's side by side between Paul Smith and Carl Janssen as they go through turn 3. Janssen has the lead. Smith's going to cut to the outside and hope that Carl Janssen makes the ride Methodist Honda hairpin. Doesn't. Battles everywhere you look. Michael Hall fighting with car 10. That's Johnny Brandon. Also in there is Alex Smolensky, car 102. He's had a great race, 24 positions gained. He's right back in the thick of it now, Alex Smolensky, after that first race where he did lose a few positions. Janssen leads. Smith is in second. Now it's a battle between Ash Sutton and that is Mark Johnston. If I'm correct, that's Sutton up to 4th.
Oh, you could so win this at Ashley Sutton. This would be a quite incredible drive because the top two are all just fighting each other. Smith right on the tail still of Janssen. He's looking any way past. He's constantly on the back bumper of Janssen. Can't quite make a move yet, but Sutton is going to be with these three any second now.
No points for Wojciech Stawidowicz again. He's out of the race, either through, must be through a crash of some sort. Disaster for him. Here comes Paul Smith. He's got his teammate Maciek Sakovic acting shotgun as well. Jake Blackhall's also retired, so another disaster for Jake Blackhall, trying for Seacar Academy, I believe. Here comes Sakovic though. What are the two teammates going to do here? They've got the upper hand on Carl Janssen. Sutton is not too far away, and he's probably going to be gaining corner by corner. And Paul Smith knows Ash Sutton as well as anybody. He knows that he's coming, and they've got to act quickly. They're on lap 6 of 13. We're only approaching the halfway distance of this one. There's already been so much action already. Into the hairpin. Carl Janssen brakes. Am driver, let's not forget, is kicking off further down the road. That is Callum Spencer getting cut back on by Michael Hall. Alex Smolensky has to get out of the way. Quarter panel, off goes Alex Smolensky. He's just going to miss the tyre wall, and he's going to get back on again. But as contacts, Jack Sedgwick's gone off after what looked like contact with Simon Field. And now Field has got the other Bodak car. That's Michael Evdoka also in the mix. Sven Glatzel's gained 38 positions as Evdoka goes by the slow GT Omega car. And then he's got his teammate Nikol Foggy for company as well.
Sutton going for third place now. Sutton past Sakovic, so within a lap he's made up about 1.5 seconds on these guys. And Sutton into third place now.
50 positions gained. It's remarkable. And if there was a trophy for most positions gained, he would quite easily win it. But a lot of drivers have gained similar amounts in this one. Unbelievable second race here. Not seen anything like it before in a long time. It's lap 7 of 13. Still got half the race to go as Sutton to the inside. He's on the grass. That was an audacious move to say the very least. Goodness me.
That was incredible from Ash Sutton. He's into the lead and you feel he's got easily the pace now to pull away unless Janssen can really stay close, but I don't think he's going to have a chance. He's got to fight back now. Here comes Janssen down into the hairpin. He's got to go for the move here, maybe down to the inside. No, Sutton's just defending off. He's too experienced for that move, and Janssen just has to stick in behind. He's so close still. Just going to try to stay close till the next hairpin, I guess.
I think if Paul Smith could take a second place result to Ash Sutton, I think he'd take it. And right now, it is Ash Sutton leading the way. 52 positions gained. Started 53rd on the grid. Second is Carl Janssen, then Paul Smith third, fourth Maciek Sakovic, and in fifth it is Mark Johnston, sixth Lorne Murray, Adam McNally in seventh, Then in 8th it is Andrew Whitehead. 9th, Michael Hall. He's gained 40 positions. The CQR cars have definitely got the knack for overtaking around this circuit. And 10th is Johnny Brandon, as Brandon looks everywhere, trying to get by Michael Hall going into the hairpin. Callum Spencer is under pressure as well, but from Christian Rose. Then you find our first Apex cars as Nathan Davis gets hit by Jack Sedgwick. Also in there is Andreas Katz, who finished in 4th in race 1, and he's gained 31 positions, which in any other race would be amazing, but it's not quite good enough here compared to Ash Sutton, as Jack Sedgwick now applies the pressure to Davis.
Yeah,
also,
so many. Sorry, I just saw Sedgwick make a little bit of contact there with Davies. I think that was Sedgwick. Just had a couple of incidents today, hasn't he? And fallen down the field into 19th position. Still getting quite a few places overall. Who's that just ahead? I think that was Kip Stevens just going for the move, but not quite making it.
Andrew Whitehead is in a right pickle here. He's hit the CQR car. That is Michael Hall, and it actually helps Michael Hall gain a position past the Bodak car, and that is Johnny Brandon, who's looking up the inside into Siberia, but Michael Hall closes the door. Andrew Whitehead must be loving this as well. Been a while since he was this high up through the field. Let's hope he just makes it home. We have an incident limit of 15 in this one, and I'm sure many of them have used some of those incidents already. I wonder if we'll start to see a few of them fall by the end of the race. Whitehead down to 11th position on this lap. He started in 8th and he's been hit by Evdoka into the hairpin. Brandon looking up the inside of Hall again as the Automech car blinks a little bit. That's Lorne Murray. He's got McNally behind him, and they're all queuing up behind Mark Johnston here. This is the battle for the spot inside the top 5, as Ash Sutton's already broke away to a 1.6 second lead. He's checking out of here as Paul Smith and Maciek Sakovic now try to apply the pressure to Carl Janssen, who moves about on the front straight to try and disturb the slipstream. Lap 9 of 13, quickly approaching 2/3 distance here.
Yeah, Janssen's been really secure so far, has not made an error. What's that? Sutton just going a little bit wide up ahead, I think. But Janssen just about holding on to Smith. Maybe Smith just waiting. He doesn't want the pack behind to get involved in this one. Mark Johnston just holding up Lorne Murray at the moment, side by side in turn 2. I think that was Michael Hall and Johnny Brandon, who have been stuck together all race, fighting so hard still. Brandon may look to the inside, Hall just defending. Brandon's got to be careful from behind, and we got it off. Is he going to crash into anyone ahead?
No
Not
one.
quite. That was so fortunate there.
Seen that in the V8 supercars, and it doesn't end well. Unfortunately for Michael Evdoka, on this occasion, didn't hit anything, but he'll be gutted about that. He gained about 40 or so positions, and he was fighting for a spot inside the top 5, and that has ended in disaster for him. Mark Johnston would have been bailing out of that as quick as he could, because otherwise he would have been T-bone there going into the Honda hairpin. Right, what this all means is that Johnston is now still in 5th, then it's Lorne Murray, then it's Johnny Brandon, then it's Glatzel, then it's McNally, then it's Andrew Whitehead. He's back inside the top 10. Those of you that are joining us for the first time ever, this is the BSRTC. Try and comprehend what's going on here, because we're trying to make sense of it here in the commentary box. We're about to start lap 10 of 13 as Nicole Foggy and Michael Evdoka now go wheel to wheel. Evdoka going to power his way around the outside here, and this is going to allow Simon Field to get involved too. 3 wide down the front straight, doesn't end well. He's going to get a bump draft here. Simon Field is going to bump draft Evdoka down the front straight. Just in front of them, it's wheel to wheel between Adam McNally and Andrew Whitehead too as they go through the first corner. No contact between those guys, and Nicole Foggy lives to fight another day as he remains in 11th place. 33 positions gained for him as well.
Yeah, side by side all the way down the field there. Paul Smith going side by side now with Janssen. Janssen being so defensive right now. Smith trying anything to get past, but he can't quite make it there into the Honda hairpin. Can he get the drive out of this one? He's still trying to get side by side, not quite. And Sakovic is just waiting behind. I wonder if Smith will just give Sakovic a chance for the second place, but still Smith all over the back bumper of Janssen.
Fantastic defensive drive this by Carl Janssen. He's putting the car everywhere it needs to be. He's even parking the car on the apex. Saw that in the Honda hairpin, and there's nothing that Paul Smith can do if he does that. Great battle that was going on between Lorne Murray and Johnny Brandon as well. Brandon is through, and he might fancy his chances on Johnston here. It's go time with just a few laps to go. Party mode will be well and truly engaged on some of these cars, and I'm sure a few smiles will be getting wiped off as well. There's Andrew Whitehead getting knocked about all over the place by Nicole Foggy. Paul Smith, is he at it again?
Johnson's had a spin. Johnson, I think, just got spun round by, it was Brandon. So Brandon just went into the back of Johnston and forced him to spin off.
Well, Brandon sounded like he was getting impatient because he was right behind him when I last saw him. Paul Smith has gone round the outside of Carl Janssen and has got the second place going into turn 2. Fantastic move there by Paul Smith. And if he's got a live stream going, I'm sure it looked great on there as well. Out of turn 2 though, but you can be rest assured that Carl Janssen's going to respond through the Stoner left-hander. Paul Smith gives him the space on the outside. On the brakes for the Honda hairpin. Lap 11 of 13. The last lap put 2, and off goes Janssen. And that allows both Team Mad cars through.
Really unfortunate there for Janssen because he just went a little bit too deep. But yeah, back down to 4th, but not sure if he's going to be able to catch the 2 teammates now.
Mark Johnson's been DQ'd. Off into the gravel goes Christian Rose. That was contact with a GTO Megacar, I think. And now it's Andrew Whitehead versus car 9 Nicole Foggy. Whitehead and Foggy have been glued to each other the last few laps. They're now boosted versus Northern Lights Racing here as we go into the left-hander. We get to the line where we're starting the penultimate lap, and Nicole Foggy, the amount of damage that he's got to that car makes it still pointing in a straight line. Into the hairpin. It's now Glatzel v Brandon. Brandon, who managed to get past Mark Johnston on the last lap at the cost of Mark Johnston's race. Johnston's probably got it going again. There is a big gravel trap here, so hopefully he didn't hit anything. Now they're coming through the final corner. Battle for second place isn't over yet, but it is between the 2 teammates, so you can expect them to race each other cleanly. Ashlerson's got a 5-second lead over everybody. You wouldn't have guessed it, but he started in 53rd place on the grid. Quite remarkable. Johnny Brandon then versus Sven Glatzel going into the first corner. Anything else that's going on that's pretty close? It's now Evdoka v Whitehead as they go for the first corner, Sam.
Yeah, these two were so close earlier on, made contact. Evdoka fell down the field and now they're glued back together again. Just looking anyway through for Evdoka, not quite this time. Sakovic is still behind Smith, but you just wonder if they're going to follow in formation to the end of the race. Glatzel, like you said earlier, right behind Brandon. A little bit of contact there, trying to get side by side as Glatzel. He might have the run here. A little bit off the track there for Brandon. And Glatzel all the way around the outside. He's not going to find a way around there. And he's just going to have to slot in behind again.
About 6 kilometres of racing to go here. 1.5 laps to go. And what a race this has been. So much drama unfolding. And I think, just looking at the positions gained, that no car that started inside the top 10 is still there. Johnny Brandon then, trying to withhold the attack of Sven Glatzel. Sven Glatzel, who really made... Oh, crash! Off goes car 9 Nicole Foggy. It finally happened. Adam McNally's been DQ'd as well. That was a matter of time as well. I think Foggy is also bitten the dust in terms of the disqualification. So both of those cars are out. Did say that there were going to be DQs towards the end if they continued it the way they were going. Foggy, I think, actually hasn't been DQ'd. I think he's just got terminal damage. He's towed back to the pits. He's out of it. He may be in with a shout to the reverse grid pole if he stays just 1 lap down. But yeah, that bubbled over in the end, Sam.
Yeah, I didn't quite see it. Oh, Cedric now going for the move on Whitehead. Down the inside goes Cedric. I think it was Whitehead who made contact with Foggy, and straight through goes Cedric. That's a brilliant drive from Cedric. He was down in about 20th position just a few laps ago. But right back into P8 now. Brilliant drive from him from 45th on the grid.
Cedric then leads this group. It is the final lap of the race. Andrew Whitehead is now having to hold back Michael Evdoka. Kip Stevens is also in the mix. If you can expect in a move from any driver, you can expect more Kip Stevens. Andrew Whitehead covers the inside line. He gets hit. Is he going to make the corner? He might get forced wide. He needs to be careful because they may pick up incident points here. And Evdoka nearly hits the boosted car, nearly quarter panels him as well. Kip Stevens looking at the inside, going into Siberia. There's an Apex car there, that's 42, that's Andreas Katz. Nathan Davis, his teammate, is also there as well. Simon Field is still going. He may be 13 positions down, but he has kept his car clean pretty much throughout this one. Shows his experience of the BSRTC. Not too many corners to go here to decide the final few positions as Whitehead and Evdoka again go wheel to wheel, this time through Lukey Heights. Wonder if Evdoka might fancy his chances into the MG hairpin here. No, he doesn't. Now he has to defend from Kip Stevens, but meanwhile, give the man a medal here. Ash Sutton, he started in 53rd position. You don't see many NASCAR drivers going from 43rd to 1st. Ash Sutton's gone from 53rd to 1st here. He wins the second race of the day. Second for Paul Smith, just. It's going to be a drag race between the two teammates. The Team Mad car, Paul Smith wins, or gets second place anyway. Third Sakovic, fourth Janssen, fifth Brandon, sixth Glatzel. Then it's going to be Sedgwick just ahead of Andrew Whitehead. He was able to keep Evdoka and Stevens at bay. And as we pause for breath, Sam, everyone's coming across the line.
Yeah, that was quite amazing, really. The constant battling all the way down the field. What a drive from Ashley Sutton. That is from 53rd on the grid. I don't know if a driver's ever won in this league from that far down, but absolutely brilliant from him. Also, Sven Glatzel, 52nd on the grid. Usually that would be the best drive of the day, but Ashley Sutton just about takes the mantle.
Unbelievable drive from him. We'll run you through the results in a moment. They're still finishing here. We've got Lee Deemer. I think he's the last car on the lead lap. He's going to get 41st. He was meant to start on the front row, but he had to start from the pit lane. And I think he's pretty glad that he did, because look how clean his car is at the end of it. I think we're just waiting for the official results to come up. We've still got a few cars circulating, I think. Trying to find them actually on the screen, because it's Pete Harrod I think we're waiting for. He is 5 laps down, but he's yet to cross the line. So he's going to come across it now and take 46th place. And there we go. Those are the that is the last car across the line. Let's run you through the finishing order then. Prior to me reading it out, cars that started inside the top 10 that finished there, we had none. And that doesn't happen often. Ash Sutton wins, 53rd on the grid, 6 seconds ahead of Paul Smith. He started 18th. Schumacher did that in the wet at Spa, I think, in 1995. Maciej Sakovic finished in 3rd, making it a great haul of points for the Team Mad team. Then Carl Janssen had to put up with them for a good portion of the race, finished in 4th in the end. Johnny Brandon, 43rd to 5th, a great drive in the last few laps, but there will be a bit of controversy after the contact that he made with Mark Johnston. We'll wait and see what the stewards say on that one. 6th for Sven Glatzel, as Sam said, 52nd on the grid, finished in 6th place. That was a gain of 46 positions. Lorne Murray finishing in 7th, 6 positions gained for the Automech car. Good haul of points for them as well, a Pro-Am team. Jack Sedgwick in 8th, 37 positions gained for the Pro driver. I'm sure he's never going to do a Pro race like that at all. Andrew Whitehead in 9th, Michael Evdoka in 10th. Evdoka started 35th, gained 25 positions on his way to a top 10 finish. Then 11th for Kip Stevens. The two Apex cars doing what they do best, consistent finish. Nathan Davis 12th, Andreas Katz 13th, 36 and 38 positions gained for them. Anything CQR can do, Apex can do just as well. Simon Field, well, in his first race in the BSRTC in a while, I'm sure he will never have seen anything like that at all. He finished in 14th place, losing 13 positions, but he did start on the pole, and he did finish as well. Dave Baker finished in 15th, 39 positions gained. Of course, the race 1 winner started in 54th. The top 20 finish is more than he'll be more than happy with that. Alex Walensky 16th, he started 37th. Anwar Smith in 17th, 18th for Martin Front, 19th for Adam Delmont. He started in 57th, even further back on the grid than where Ash Sutton started, and he got a top 20. Michael Hall in 20th place. Rashid Kasim, one of the few drivers to move up a ton of positions. He finished in 21st after starting in 22nd. Then Ross McFarlane finished in 22nd place, 23rd for Alex Simpson. Well, I'm sure Alex will have been amazed at what was going on there. 24th for Rusty Laidler, Mark Woodhouse 25th, Julian Janowski 26th, 27th for Christian Rose, 28th for Max Wright. He had that big incident at the start of the race, on lap 2, when he and Gareth Hickling collided on the front straight. Then 29th for Tristan Bodis, Chris Wood in 30th, 31st for Brian Holmes, started in 42nd, and John Roberts in 32nd place. He had issues. He got hit off, didn't he, in the Honda hairpin. Nick Madsen in 33rd, 34th for Adam Broughton Grant, and Stephen Baxter 35th. Adam Hadfield in 36th, 37th for Dave Crozier, Gareth Hickling in 38th, 39th for Rob Graham, and then 40th place for Scott Malcolm. The last car on the lead lap, Lee Deemer, 41st. And then it's the cars that finished 2 laps down or more. They may be in a bit of luck. Oh no, they won't be in luck at all because they didn't finish. So sorry guys, the reverse grid doesn't apply to you. But Adam McNally, 2 laps down, DQs. Nicole Foggy just crashed out, I think. Just looking at his incident points. Yeah, he still had under 15. Then who else bit the dust? Mark Johnston, 3 laps down. He got DQ'd. Then Callum Spencer, 3 laps down in 45th place. Spencer, likewise, 15 incidents, got disqualified. Pete Harrod, 46th. He finished, but just 5 laps down. Must have had a big crash. Dave Christie, 6 laps down. He got DQ'd as well. Then Colin Cunniff, 8 laps down. He just crashed out, along with Jake Blackhall, Michael Blake, Dan Brown, Wojciech Svidovic for the 2nd race in a row. Had issues. Taylor Lane, Laura Bond, Matt Keeber. His big crash really ended his race. He was the one that hit the tyre barriers in that crash with Max Wright. Jack McIntyre, 56th, Newman, 57th. Jamie Rushworth finishing in 58th place. And he retired on the opening lap, so he would have got a fantastic chance to see what we saw, Sam. And that was probably one of the most incident-packed BSRTC races I can remember in a long time.
Yeah, just constant, particularly those kind of first 5 laps where everywhere we looked there was a major collision going on. We were trying to keep up with it all, but it's extremely difficult. And yeah, just I think in the top 10, I think there were 2 cars who started in the top 20, which just sums it up. Just incredible drives from those who started near the back of the grid. It's yeah, looking forward to the last race of the evening.
It's not often we have to bring out the car that started inside the top 20 that finished there, is it? Well then, time for the final reverse grid of the day. Sam, don't know what you thought of that, but yeah, we've got to get a car on pole here.
Yep, we have to do it. It was certainly a busy race. Let's see if we get another.
Cut out.
Yeah, we have that kind of grid again. It might be a little bit smaller, but not by much. Full -4.
Full -4. So it's not Lee Deemer, it's not Scott Malcolm, it's not Rob Graham. It is Gareth Pickling. It's going to be on the pole for the final race of the day. He had a big crash at the start of the race, I believe. Did, yes. So he's going to be on the pole for this final race. Dave Crozier starting in 2nd. 3rd on the grid is going to be Adam Hadfield, Stephen Baxter 4th, Adam Broughton Grant in 5th. And I can't see. I wonder if Ash Sutton can get it done this time. He's going to be starting from way down again. And if you don't want to join us after the break, you must be crazy, because if you didn't enjoy that, then you will not enjoy anything, I don't think. Join us after the break for the final race of the day, race 6 of the season in the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
We're back for the final race of the day. I think we've just about caught our breath after an insane second race where we had two cars starting inside the top 20 that finished there. I think they were both Paul Smith and Sakovic, I think. But yeah, we're back for the final race. Adam Baffin, Sam Fitzpatrick in the commentary box with you for this one. And Sam, we were trying to get our heads around the break. What we definitely know is that it is a full -4. We'll see what the organisers do. I personally think I'm right, but we're speaking to Paul Smith in the break, and he thinks it's a different driver on the pole. But yeah, we'll wait and see.
Yeah, we'll find out in a couple of minutes. Yeah, I'm not quite sure on the rules, and we may have, of course, counted it wrong as well. But can't remember who was it who we thought on pole. I think it was Crozier in second, but he might be on pole. I can't remember who we said who was on pole, but whatever way, I think it's going to be much of the same as the last race, I think.
Looking forward to it. Of course, next week, the BSRTC heads to, well, this is looking to get the calendar up. I believe it's Brands Hatch Indy, so that should be good. That'll be definitely one to watch. Another short track, and not too many places to overtake there as well. So cars are going to get inventive. Maybe that's what they're using this race meeting for, is because Carl Janssen goes for a almighty shunt in the warm-up session. And speaking to Paul during the break, Sammy, we found out that Carl Janssen definitely hadn't conserved his tyres by the time we got to the end of the race. That was how Paul was able to get the position on Carl Janssen.
Yeah, crucial factors to these cars. Personally, I don't know the car too well, but I believe it understeers quite a lot. I believe everyone who I've ever spoken to about it has said it understeers a lot, so I assume it was the front tyres which wore out, and of course around this circuit with the long corners in turn 1 and turn 2, and several other long corners as well. It's really going to hurt those front tyres and really going to overheat them a lot, and yeah, going to cause a lot of wear by the end of the race.
Too long to wait now till we get down to the grid. Of course, tomorrow we've got more broadcasts on Apex Racing TV on a Friday night, on a Good Friday as well. Spend your bank holiday weekend with us, and then we are back on Sunday, I believe, for BSR IMSA, and then Monday we've got the usual World GT Championship and IMSA Sports Car Series final race, the IMSA the Britmatech Sports Car Series as well. So I'm sure you join us for that one in the early hours, and then Tuesday BSR MX5. That's going to be at Brands Hatch, and then yeah, we get the BSR week underway again. So on you through the grid then. Starting on pole for this final race is, let me just scroll up. It is Gareth Hickling.
You were right.
There we go. Yeah. Sorry, Paul. Dave Crozier starting in second. Third, Adam Hadfield. Fourth, Stephen Baxter. Fifth, Adam Brawson Grant. Sixth, Nick Madsen. Seventh, John Roberts. Eighth, Brian Holmes. Ninth, Chris Wood. 10th, Tristan Boddice. 11th, Max Wright. 12th, Christian Rose. 13th, Julian Janowski. 14th for Mark Woodhouse. 15th for Rusty Laidler. 16th, Alex Simpson. 17th, Ross McFarlane. 18th on the grid is Rashid Kasim. Michael Hall, 19th, and 20th, Adam Delmont. We're just waiting for Nick Madsen to get on the grid. If he doesn't, then he's going to be starting from the pit lane. Just for the record, Ash Sutton's going to be starting in 38th place, which is a much smaller number than the 53 positions that he had to gain in race 2. So if anything does kick off at the front, expect him to be somewhere nearby. Here we go then. Everybody's on the grid, and we're ready to go. We're on the way. Hickling gets away well. Dave Crozier is now under pressure from everybody else, because here comes the GTM Mega Car. It's found space through the middle. That must be Stephen Baxter, is it? Please don't quarter panel Adam Hadfield into the first corner, guys. No, they don't. That's good. Now for the first corner into turn 2. Hopefully no contacts here as Hadfield closes up on Hickling. It's got to make sure we get through it safely. There's a boosted car all over the place. That's Tristan Boddice holding up everyone else behind. It looks like, Sam, we've got through the first corner without any major incidents.
Yeah, very different to last time, but we're heading into the Honda chicane. This is where it all kicked off last time quite a bit. Does anyone miss their braking zone? I don't see anything going on. It's still 3 wide all the way down the field, but yeah, it seems about okay.
Hadfield gets hit. Out of the way, he's able to put the throttle down and corrects it. Does mean he's dropped down to 4th place. Gareth Hickling's back in the lead. Lost it momentarily. And now Hadfield's trying to apply the pressure onto Dave Crozier. Another Team Mad car that's high up the order already. Any big gainers so far? Alex Simpson's gained 3 spots. He's up to 13th place. He's right in the mix there as well. He's trying to get past Rusty Laidler, stalwart of the BSRT.
Hadfield nearly... sorry, that was Baxter, I think. Or yeah, not quite sure who that was, but they nearly lost it down into the hairpin.
Yeah, Hadfield having to keep Nick Madsen at bay as they go through the final corner to complete the opening lap. This has definitely split them apart. Hickling and Baxter away at the front. Then it's Dave Crozier, Mark Johnston and everybody, Adam Hadfield and everybody else as they come across the line to complete the opening lap. Also in there is an Apex car. That's car 3, that's Brian Holmes. As Gareth Hickling has lost the lead, Stephen Baxter through in the first corner.
Yeah, nice move from Steve. Can he pull away now? Already got a little bit of a gap over Gareth Hickling. Needs to really pull away before those fast drivers make their way to the front.
Turn 2 then, onto the small straight again, and now into Stoner, turn 3. Crozier having to keep Hadfield at bay. I wonder if Hickling might try and fancy his chances of getting the lead back. There's a boosted car out of control. It's John Roberts. He collides with a CQR Academy car, and an absolute melee ensues. Car 2, Alex Simpson involved. Roberts trying to get going again, broke on the grass. That's how it occurred, and he speared back across and collected CQR Academy car nowhere that Alex Simpson could go in all that. And first big crash of the third race of the day.
Yeah, it was Christian Rose who he hit. So yeah, that was. Just went a little bit wide, and once you do that you're just a passenger, so a small error there. But once again, fortunate that we didn't have a huge pile up there, as we saw earlier on.
Dave Crozier then, holding up car 46, that's Adam Hadfield. I'll say holding up, just keeping him at bay for now. Then it's Brian Holmes for Apex Racing in 5th. It's Nick McCarron behind in 6th, 7th Adam Broughton-Grant. 8th is Tristan Bodis, 9th is his teammate Julian Janowski. And then 10th is Max Wright. As we've got some action here between car 38. That's Chris Wood. He's in 17th. And then it's Rusty Laidler, who is in 14th place. In fact, this is a battle over 13th and 14th. Chris Wood in the Team Mad car. Rusty Laidler in the CQR Academy car as they go through the first corner. And it looks like it's going to be the CQR Academy car with the advantage here into turn 2. The brakes late, but who's that off? That is the Automet car Max Wright, who was in 10th. Looks like he's done what so many other drivers have done tonight. Sam, let's go off at turn 2 as we're 3 wide between Smolensky and Delmont and somebody else, Wood.
Yeah, can they get stopped from the brakes? Look okay. Yeah, just about got through that one there. Delmont just behind Laidler. Sorry, that was Delmont really going defensive there. And Wood just being a little bit wide there. Can Smith come down the inside, side by side, into the next few corners? Was there a spinner just behind? Yeah,
Sutton. It's Sutton. No triple win. Oh no, race 2 and race 3 win. Of course, it was Baker that won the opening race. I should remember that. Sutton turns around, he gets back going again, doesn't hit anything. But I think any chances of winning race 3 definitely off the table now.
Oh, that's a big. Who's that? Big impact for
Brian Holmes.
Yeah, from he was up in 5th position, so what's happened there? Big damage on his car as well.
That is the exit of the MG hairpin, right? Oh, he's just going to get turned around, isn't he, by car 59. That's Nick Madsen. Just when Apex looked like they might have a chance of getting a win with having a car high up there, it's all gone horribly wrong, and I think Brian Holmes might have to go back to the pits because that has all the hallmarks of a meatball flag for him. What this does mean now is that Adam Hadfield's in 3rd, Dave Crozier 4th, Bodis 5th, McFarlane 6th, Janowski 7th, Madsen in 8th, but he is getting forced out the way there by Michael Hall. And here comes the CQR Academy car as well, car 26, Adam Broughton-Grant. There's a Youth Energy car off in the background as well. Through the left-hander then, into the hairpin as well. Here comes everybody else. So many battles going on. You got Mark Woodhouse just a bit further back. Matt Keeber. Oh, Delmont getting hit as well by another of the AM drivers. That's Martin Front here. Contact somewhere. The Bodak car cannot steer. That's Michael Evdoka. Desperately trying to get back on the circuit. He's off in the gravel at Siberia. And there's other Bodak car as well. There's Rashid Kassim versus Jack Sedgwick. This is in about the mid-20s. I think Michael Evdoka may have just been disqualified. He's disappeared off my timing screen. He's towed back to the pits, actually. Terminal damage for him. Who's that? That is Nathan Davis in about 18th place, trying to get past Martin Front. lost Anwar Smith and Evdoka on this lap, so 2 cars out of the race to add to the cars that we've already got out as they go through the final corner. Northern Lights Racing versus Apex Racing. This is nearly a quarter. That was nearly a quarter panel. It's carrying on.
Oh, that is.
God, I would have been clenching in there. Here comes everybody else. This is Sven Glatzel, and that is also Carl Janssen. They've now closed in on those two, who I think they both wanted to end each other there. Whoa! Not in front, round the outside, and is able to hold on to his position as Davis looks at the inside again. This is about 15th and 16th on the circuit, and if they're not too careful, the two in front of Adam Delmont and Mark Woodhouse are going to start escaping as Davis bump drafting his way through the Stoner Bend at turn 3.
Yeah, down the inside here, has he got him on the brakes? Just about good room there left. Now under pressure from behind from the 2 cars, a little bit of contact just behind. Front just lost out there, but that was good from him to leave a little bit of room for Davies. Otherwise there would have certainly been contact.
Hall versus Woodhouse. Hopefully Andrew Woodhouse is watching with us tonight. Wheel-to-wheel stuff here. And now to the top of the hill at Lukey Heights. Woodhouse trying everything he can to stay ahead. This is over 13th and 14th. Oh, contacts up in front. Oh, I forgot about this pack. They're everywhere here. This is made up of Hadfield, Crozier, then Ross McFarlane, then Janowski, Hall, and then it's wheel-to-wheel between Tristan Bodice and car 19. That's Rusty Laidler as they go for the final.
Yeah, Laidler just about hanging on to that one, but Bodice trying to go around the outside into 1. Got to try to hang it around the outside if he possibly can to get the inside into 2. Can he carry the speed here? Tristan, not quite, just going to back out and let Laidler have that one. Just side by side up ahead. Crozier, oh, he's going down the inside. Just about making the move there on Crozier. That was Janowski just going down the inside of Crozier, and Janowski's going to try to make a move straight away now.
Yeah, 2 moves there. That was Ross McFarlane going by, and Janowski as well on Dave Crozier here. Into the hairpin again. Lace on the brakes by McFarlane. It was a good thing that Hadfield gave him the inside line there, because otherwise he would have been definitely getting hit there. Into Siberia. On the outside goes the blue and black V-Racer car. 2 cars out of the race, Matt Keeber and Scott Malcolm. They add to the list. Wheel-to-wheel stuff going through the hayshed between Michael Hall and that is Dave Crozier again. Crozier getting forced about a little bit here. Oh, almost out of control behind them as well. Rusty Laidler, very close for comfort. Over the top of the hill, into the MG hairpin. Hall has the inside line and will have the position as Crozier gets demoted another place. Gets a little bit of a tap on the right rear there by Laidler. And then it's Bodice, Madsen, and then wheel-to-wheel between Alex Smolensky. And that is all off. It's Broughton Grant. He was trying to go wheel-to-wheel with him, but I think he ran out of track.
Yeah, desperately trying to get back on track. I didn't see what happened there, but he's lost a few positions there as Grant. He's down to, I think, 16th position, unfortunately. Was running around the top 10.
Battle for 4th between Hadfield and Janowski. And Janowski up the inside into turn 2 and is through. Lap 7 of 13. Once again, BSRTC delivering a huge amount of action as Johnny Brandon drops down the timing screen. Don't know what's happened to Johnny, but something has. Well, Adam Broughton Grant on Carl Janssen. Janssen, who had issues with his tyres towards the end of the race. Late on the brakes, just up the road, there's something going on just in front, involving an Apex car. That's Woodhouse and Nathan Davis, plus Sven Glatzel is in there. Glatzel gaining 19 positions in this one. I think that's joint biggest mover along with Janssen, who's now under pressure from the Bodak car of Sedgwick, pro driver as well as they go through the hayshed.
Sedgwick just having to stay behind this time. Probably got slightly more pace around the outside now at the top of the hill. Can he make this one? He got to have the inside for the hairpin. Yep, looking to the inside, and that should be pretty simple now for Sedgwick. As long as he can just get a car's length ahead. Oh. No! Oh, bit of contact. I think he's still got it though, Sedgwick. got the drive out of the corner, and yet Cedric up into 16th position, just past Carly Jansen.
May have thought he was clear, but there was still a bit of Carly Jansen that was inside him. Who's that that's in the mix? It's a race up liveried car. It must be Dave Baker. Indeed it is, as they come across the start-finish line to start lap 8. Pretty much a dead heat between those two there, as here comes an Apex car to the inside. That is Andreas Katz, Season 3 and Season 8 champion. You can hear the tyres squealing as they go through that first corner as well. Grip at a premium. We are 2/3 of the way through this one. Approaching the 3/4 distance mark here as well. Lap 8 of 13, and battles everywhere you look. It's 7/10 of a second at the front of the field between Stephen Baxter and Gareth Hickling. Wonder if that can get any closer as we go into the closing stages of this race. But for now, here comes Baker. Jansen firmly shuts the door. Baker moving to the outside and back up the inside. Shows that Jansen may have used up his tyres yet again. He wasn't able to hold the apex. Means that Baker is through into that is 17th place then.
Just watching Smolensky going for the move on Bodice, that was. So Smolensky up there, Madsen just behind, not going to quite make the move, but yeah, Smolensky up into P9 now.
So cracked the top 10, and he was inside the top 20 in race 2, I think. And he's now cracked the top 10 here in the final race of the day. Madsen now in 11th place, trying to get past Bodice and get inside the top 10. Gap at the front is down to 0.3 of a second. Good lap on the last tour of the circuit by Gareth Hickling. He was a 10th of a second quicker than Baxter and has got the gap down a little bit. I wonder if we could have a grandstand finish there, as we are now on lap 9 of 13, 3/4 distance, as Sven Glatzel looking up the inside of Nathan Davis going into the first corner. Highest apex car in the field after the demise of Brian Holmes, as Julian Janowski has got past Ross McFarlane and is now into the final spot on the podium, as McFarlane wants that position back as we go through turn 3. Going to the outside under braking. And if he can hold it out round there, he should have the inside line for Siberia, but Janowski does get a decent run on the exit there. And now McFarlane's got to deal with everybody else, because here are Hadfield, here are Hall, and here are Rusty Laidler too.
Yeah, Hadfield's had a good pace throughout. He'll certainly be looking to get P4 from McFarlane. These lot are so evenly matched. McFarlane looking to the inside, there's no space up there. Trying to get past Janowski. Can he find the inside going into there? But I think Janowski's just going to fend it off. No, he just backs out there, does McFarlane. Just got to line it up for the final corner. All about the exit from here, all about the drive you get down to the final corner and out the pit straight. And McFarlane just going to have to sit in behind for now.
The final corner then, onto lap 10 of 13, 4 laps to go. Here comes McFarlane again. Looking to the inside this time into the first corner. And he has it, but Janowski will have the inside line for turn 2. Oh, may have been maybe a slight touch of netcode there between the two of them. And they're going to be ratted again here as they go through turn 3. These are 7 seconds behind the front two. Farland trying everything he can. Oh, Janowski gives him just enough space up the inside. Somehow they don't hit each other. And McFarlane is through into 3rd position. Nearly.
Oh, round goes
Hall.
Hall, oh well, he hung on to it somehow. Hall loses a couple of positions, was side by side with Hadfield, but Hall just about hangs onto the car, down to P7 though. And McFarlane's coming back. Into Lukey Heights we go then. Oh, more contact I think between Alex Smolensky and Laidler, I think. Laidler, Hall at the inside. He's carried on. Smolensky back up the inside, very close to hitting him there. These lot are so close together now. It's McFarlane that's leading them round. He's in 3rd place. Gap between the front two. 0.2 of a second as they go across the line to start lap 11 of 13. When we get to the line the next time, we'll be on the penultimate lap of the race. And Hickling
He's looking for the lead here going into the first corner. But Baxter slams the door shut in the Alfa Alatech car's face.
Doesn't want to lose the momentum, Hickling. He needs to stay right close. And it might just be one move which decides this one. Janowski still really close. Seems like it's going to be a four-way battle now for the podium. Janowski still really close to McFarlane. I'm not sure if we saw McFarlane's move on the last lap, but here comes Janowski down into the Honda hairpin. No way up the inside here, just behind though. So, Hadfield just getting overtaken by Laidler. Still side by side. Laidler, I think, is just going to have this one. No, Hadfield trying to go down the inside. And he just about has it as well. You can't go around the outside in that corner. And Hadfield hangs on for now.
So close between those guys there. Sven Glatzel's lost a ton of positions on this lap. He's probably in and amongst this huge gaggle that we've got here, made up of Alex Simpson, Andreas Katz. There's a race-up car there, that must be David Baker, it is. And you've also got Woodhouse, Martin Front, Katz as well. All fighting over the same bit of track as we're in the closing stages. When we get to Longley on the penultimate lap, up the inside goes car 57. That is Martin Front. Oh, contact between the two. Between him and Woodhouse, that allows Katz through. Alex Simpson's now got Sven Glatzel on his inside. Simpson around the outside, and he's able to hold on for now. What's going back on at the front?
Yeah, Hickling tried to go for a move into turn one, but was on the outside. Couldn't make it, but he seems pretty happy now just to stick behind. I think he's got confidence he can make it in these final couple of laps. No sign of desperation just yet from Hickling, but it's not super easy to make the move. Baxter just hanging on for now.
See what's going on for third then. It's still just as close. Ross McFarlane drifts over back to the racing line. As long as he makes the corner, that's okay. Makes a right mess of the exit though, I think. Just be able to hold on to his third position. Janowski had a little shot there of getting through. What's happened to Nick Madsen? I think he's bit the dust in terms of reaching the incident limits. Oh no, he's off. He's off with a hairpin. So I don't know what happened to Nick Madsen there. I think I've got enough time to have a quick look to see what happened to him. There's a crash just behind him as well.
Oh, it was an odd one. Yeah, he just got smashed a little bit and somehow didn't hit a car up ahead.
Hit by Davis, I think. Yeah, he did. The apex blew. Davis has carried on. He's now just behind Dave Baker. Right then, starting the final lap of the race. While that battle does look insane with Davis, Baker and Woodhouse, we've got a battle for the lead to settle here. White flag in the air. Gareth Hickling versus Stephen Baxter. Baxter leads as they start the final lap. 4.44 kilometres to go. Paul Smith did this move before, round the outside of the first corner. Baxter able to just hold his own. Now into turn two. Maybe the Honda hairpin is where Hickling's going to get it done. They both go very wide. They go for an early apex. Well, at least that's what Baxter does anyway. Now the drive off of turn two. Through turn three. Stoner bends here. And who's going to be latest on the brakes into the Honda hairpin? Baxter covers the inside. No way round for Gareth Hickling. And these two have done a fantastic job at the front. Much quicker than anybody else. But overtaking opportunities running out for Hickling now.
Yeah, can he find a way through? Can he get the exit here? He's just a little bit too far back. And you just feel Baxter can cover up anything that Hickling offers. McFarlane still hanging on over Janowski just behind. But Hickling 2/10 behind still. Looking for any way of getting past. He's just a little bit wide down. I think the opportunity may have just gone. No chance down into the hairpin, and he may just have to settle for second best.
His only hope is getting a fantastic run out of the final corner and hoping for a drag race, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. The AM driver of Gareth Hickling looks like he's going to settle for second place. Through the final corner we go then. Checker flag in the air. Baker race 1, Sutton race 2. It's going to be Stephen Baxter just in race 3. He wins for Northern Ice Racing and GT Omega. Second place for Gareth Hickling. Who's going to get the final spot on the podium though? It's just going to be Ross McFarlane. 4th Janowski, 5th Laidler, 6th Hadfield, 7th Hall, 8th Smolensky, 9th Crozier, 10th Tristan Bottis. What about everybody else? Nathan Davis is going to head home. Mark Woodhouse for 13th place. Sven Glatzel, what's happened to him? Did he get DQ'd on the last lap? I think he did. Alex Simpson managed to come across the line in 17th place. But Sven Glatzel, I think he did reach that incident limit. What about Savidovic? He came across the line in 24th after starting in 51st. I may be one of the biggest movers in the field there. And Paul Smith started 37, finished in 30th. Jake Blackhall, 38th. Not too many more cars after that, really. We're waiting for Lee Deemer, and that is it. Deemer gets that 39th position. So let's run through the finishing order then. The final race of the day. Stephen Baxter wins. Gareth Hickling, the pole sitter, finishing in 2nd. Ross McFarlane in 3rd. 4th for Julian Janowski. 5th for Rusty Laidler. 6th for Adam Hadfield, who started on the 2nd row of the grid. Then it's Michael Hall. 8th Alex Smolensky. 9th Dave Crozier, who started on the front row. 10th Tristan Bottis. 11th for Jack Sedgwick, started 31st. Finished 11th, 20 positions gained for him. Dave Baker in 12th. 13th for Nathan Davis, 14 positions gained. And Mark Woodhouse finished 15th. 14th, he started there. 15th for Martin Front, 16th for Andreas Katz, then Alex Simpson in 17th. 18th Kip Stevens, 19th Adam Broughton Grant, and 20th place for Maciek Sakovic. 21st for Pete Harrod, 22nd for Nicole Foggy, Chris Wood in 23rd, 24th after starting 51st for Wojciech Savidovic. Then Max Wright 25th, 26th for Nick Madsen. Jamie Rushworth started stone dead last and finished 27th, so a good drive there from Jamie. Carl Jansen 28th, 29th for Lorne Murray, 30th for Paul Smith. Then Dan Brown in 31st, 32nd for Rob Graham, 33rd Colin Cunniff, 34th for Laura Bond, 35th Simon Field, 36th John Roberts. We saw what happened to him. He had that moment where he braked on the grass and slid across, collected a few other cars on the way through. Then Jake Blackhall 37th, 38th for Andrew Whitehead, 39th for Lee Deemer, 40th Sven Glatzel, 1 lap down. Mark Johnston 2 laps down in 41st, along with Adam McNally. Also down there we've got Johnny Brandon, Rashid Kassim, and Will Smith, Michael Blake, Ash Sutton in the end finishing 6 laps down, so disaster there for the race 2 winner. And Adam Delmont 48th, 49th Matt Keeber, 50th Scott Malcolm, and it's Dave Christie, Avdoka, McIntyre, Holmes in 54th, 55th is Christian Rose, and Pete Newman not having the best race meeting, race 2 and race 3, he failed to finish. Right then, that is it. Just in case we get a driver for an interview, Sam, what a race meeting. I know you're only here for race 2 and race 3, but it was very hard to keep up with everything that was going on.
Yeah, race 2 particularly was just absolute carnage. I think I saw Alex Simpson say after lap 2 in that 3rd race he was on 14 instant points. So it just shows you the manic nature of today's event. And yeah, of course 3 different winners as to be expected, and yeah, plenty of yeah, really good racing out there. Really difficult to tell who's going to take that momentum into Brands Hatch next week.
Just asking Sam Kumo quickly, did we miss a race of the season? Did we miss the opening race at Phoenix, was it?
Yeah, I was looking at it, and it seems like, because it was at least not on the schedule, so I've been told that the Phoenix race happened, but it was not scheduled for us. I don't think so.
Don't know. Well, it looks like we're not getting anybody to speak to us, so we'll wrap it up then. Join us at the weekend. We've got a lot of action as always. BSR IMSA on Sunday, and then on Monday, of course, World GT Championship and the Mitex Sports Car Series, final race meeting of the season there. But what an evening of racing we've been treated to. Well done to Dave Baker, to Ash Sutton, and to Stephen Baxter on getting their victories in the 3 races. And the next race meeting is at Brands Hatch Indy next week. Make sure you can join us then at 8 PM BST. From myself, Adam Bath, from Sam Fitzpatrick, Sam Kumo, who's been in the comms box and on the cameras. Good night to you all.